What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you my new Infiniti that we've added to the fleet. Alright guys, so today is a fun day because we finally have my new Infiniti Q60 here, and it is the 3-liter twin turbo trim, so I'm super excited about that because I'm pretty sure that it is faster than my WRX in its stock configuration right now. So let's go ahead and check out the car here. Dang! This thing has got an aggressive front bumper. Look at that. I'm happy that here in Pennsylvania we don't need a front plate, because looking at that big grille right there, how could you not love that? As you can see, we did in fact get the 3-liter twin turbo. And you know what? Even though they washed it at the dealership and stuff, I do gotta say this car does need a detail still. On camera it looks pretty shiny, but there's like some bug marks up front here. On the inside it's all dusty. Like, this thing definitely needs a detail. Let's go around back here, get a little shot. Dang. This thing has some real nice body lines. It looks super aggressive from, I would say, just about every single angle. But let's go ahead and hop in here. Look at this bad boy. Got these nice black leather seats, back seats for legless passengers. If we sit down inside of here, I don't think I've ever had a car this nice before, so I am so excited. It is an automatic, unfortunately, but these things shift pretty fast from what I've seen, so not super worried about that. You know, these newer automatics that they're throwing in cars are actually sometimes faster than whenever you shift manual. So even though we're giving up that, that's not that big of a deal to me. I'm still happy with this, and you know what? On longer drives and stuff, this car is gonna be nice for things like that. It does let you shift it yourself if that's something that you're into. We'll see how much of that actually happens. So let's go ahead, I'll start it here. So you know what? It's really not that loud, I gotta say. But there are a lot of plans that I have for this car, so from what I've seen, this model that I have right here, the Premium, a difference between it and something like the Sport model and the Red Sport, if you don't know about these Infinitis, they sell, I think, a 2-liter turbo. They have a 3-liter turbo that is a luxury, I think it's called the Lux. They have a 3-liter turbo that's a Sport, a Premium, and then the Red Sport. So mine's the Premium. If you go up to the Sport, you get paddle shifters. As you can see, mine doesn't have any paddle shifters back here. It has bigger brakes on the Sport, I believe. And then the difference between the Sport and the Red Sport is that they just tune the engine to 400 horsepower. So that's where these mods come in that I'm going to tell you guys about. So from the research that I've done, it seems like there's only a few mods that separate my car from the Red Sport. And this car is actually nicknamed the Baby GTR. And that is because it weighs only like 150, something around there, more pounds. It has a little bit weaker of an automatic transmission, and it does make 300 horsepower from the factory. But one of the biggest differences from this car and the Red Sport is just a tune. 300 to 500 horsepower is a pretty big jump, but you don't really need that many mods for this car, which is something that, you know, on my WRX might be something that's harder to get to. So I've already got some parts that are coming on the way right now for this thing. And when the goal is to make a reliable amount of horsepower, so it's actually relatively cheap to hit 500 wheel horsepower, which is really sick. That's why they nickname it the Baby GTR, because how easy it is to make horsepower in this car. And you do also get a little bit ticked down in reliability whenever you mod any car from the factory, but this car specifically, it's just made to get tuned. The difference between the trims really defined that, I think, for everybody, that you can literally just slap a tuner on this car and get 100 horsepower, be the same horsepower level as a Red Sport. And I don't think I've said it before, but this car that I bought is a 2017 Infiniti Q60. And just to reinstate, it is a premium trim, so it doesn't have like the bigger brakes or the sport shifters. I think there's some other stuff that might come with the sport trim and the Red Sport, but that's all that I think is different between this and like a higher trim. So I'll take you guys for a little ride here. You know, we'll go whip it a little bit. So I can show you guys some cool things about this car. So quickly before we go for a drive, does have push to start, does have keyless entry, does have keyless, like it locks itself whenever you walk away. It does have this cool screen down here where you can go to like your audio, you have a bunch of different apps you can load, you can go to climate, so turn on your AC. A lot more buttons than I'm used to whenever riding in my WRX. And it does have navigation up here. I just popped out the SD card that controls it, just for like, you know, my safety. So just so many buttons all over, stuff that I'm not really used to. And this this is the go fast button. So the different drive modes that we have, you can see is personal, which I haven't entirely figured out yet. I'm guessing you can just tune different settings to how you want it. I haven't really looked at it that much, but that's my understanding of it, is that you can customize it how you want. Obviously sport, go fast mode, standard, just everyday driving, or eco mode if you're trying to save a little bit of gas. And then if it does snow, it does have snow. I don't think I said this before either, but it is the all-wheel drive version. That's also what makes it a baby GTR, is that it is all-wheel drive, at least this trim. You can get it in rear-wheel drive, but I opted for all-wheel drive because it does snow a lot up here, and also I think I like a lot more the 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 or whatever mile per hour that you go through than like doing a roll or something. Even though it seems a lot of people do race that way, if you think about like being in traffic and stuff, most of the time, you know, taking off quick from a light or something. But for me, at least, that's what I think I enjoy more, is being able to take off really quickly, which is why I got the all-wheel drive. But it does have, from what I've read, the thing that I can't remember with the differential, where once you're going over a certain speed, it does transfer power. So it's 70% in the rear, 30% in the front, but normally it is 50% all around with the all-wheel drive. Okay, so enough talking. We're gonna pop this baby in sport mode, and I'll take you guys for a little drive. So everything about this car right now feels so foreign to me, because the last time that I ever drove an automatic, well, you know, of course occasionally I'll drive an automatic car if like I gotta take my parents' car or my girlfriend's car or something like that. You know, I'll drive an automatic, but this is the first time that I've like owned an automatic car since probably like 2020, so that's like 4 years ago. This thing really hooks. I think that a lot of times in newer cars, you can't exactly tell whenever like you're going that fast, just because like the suspension is so smooth. You don't really hear the engine that much, which is something that is going to come in the future too. I do want to put a little bit of an exhaust, maybe not as absurd as the WRX, but just something that, like, you know, gives you some feedback that you are going a little bit fast, and maybe whenever you're idling it'll burble a little bit or whatever, you know, just have a little something, because that's also very enjoyable about cars, being able to hear the exhaust and stuff. But so far I've enjoyed this car. I've been looking for one for a while. I was looking at some BMWs, some Audis, but I came across the Infinitis, and just the tunability of them is really what sold it for me. Obviously you can like tune an Audi like S5, which is what I was looking at, or like an M4 or a 440i, which is what I was actually looking at, is the 440i. They have tunability with just like a downpipe or something, but after doing some research online, these seemed like they had so much tunability, which is something that I didn't really expect coming from Infiniti. But after doing a bunch of research on it, it seems really cool that you can add so much horsepower just from like simple mods like that, because this is supposed to be sort of like a daily driver, something that's a little bit more reliable than the WRX. So it's nice to know that it's a sports car that really has just a lot of room for more power. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit of beans. And you know, that probably didn't exactly translate on camera to how I'm feeling it in real life, but it does push you back in the seat. But I'm so excited for the future of this car. I have so many different things that I'm planning to do with it. I'll get out and show you some exterior things that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking that we'll move up through the stages as I get more modifications for this car. We'll kind of just follow what AMS Performance is, which is the people who make a lot of the really good mods for this platform, is AMS. So I'm feeling like we'll buy a ECU Tech tuner and we'll just kind of move our way up through the stages. You know, if it needs stage 1 is just downpipes, then that's what we're buying, and then stage 2 is downpipes and a heat exchanger. That's what we're doing. So we'll just follow through the different stages that there are, and, you know, make our way up to hopefully like a 500 horsepower number, because I think that would be sick. Maybe even detune it a little bit just to keep the thing a little bit more reliable. This is supposed to be a more reliable car than the WRX, but we're not getting rid of it. I don't want anybody to think that the WRX is leaving the channel. We're going to be keeping both of these cars, so don't think that any WRX content is going away. We are still going to be doing that content here on the channel. So I know this video seems a little bit all over the place, but I think that's just because I'm so excited to get things done to this car. So some different things that I am debating on with this car. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy like the WRX. I do think that some things I did to the WRX are a little bit overboard, but I think that a front lip would look pretty sick on this car. I'm debating on if I should do a chrome delete or not, because this car does have a lot of chrome all over it, but I don't know. I feel like this gray color with the chrome kind of goes really well together, so still debating on that if I want to go down that route or not. But I think for sure, front splitter. They do make some pretty sick side skirts for this car too. Back here, I'm deciding, they make like tinted taillights that you can put on this car like the WRX, but I don't know if I really want to do that to this car. I did see that you could put clear taillights on the back, which I'm debating on too, but I really don't know yet. That's something that I'm still thinking about. They do make a pretty sick rear lip that goes up here that's carbon fiber, and they do make one that's black, so I'm thinking about that too, because I think that would be cool. This rear diffuser down here you can get not as aggressive as the WRX obviously, but they have like, you know, third brake lights, some little fins and stuff on there that would look pretty cool. And you know, probably sometime down the line get some better wheels for this thing, because you know, these are pretty cool, but I feel like we need to upgrade the wheels at some point. So yeah, some cool things that we got planned for this car. I'm honestly excited to see where it goes. I do have some parts in the mail, so you guys will see some videos coming soon about different modifications that we will be making to this car. So I'm so excited for that. I hope that you guys will enjoy these modifications that I'm doing too. Part of the reason I did choose this car is because, you know, there's not a lot of them out there on YouTube, I feel like. You know, you see a lot of people building like BMWs or Audis or stuff like that, but I feel like these aren't really on YouTube that much, so that also kind of enticed me a little bit to buy it, because they do seem a little bit underrated, and I feel like that many people aren't modifying these things, and they're kind of just seen as like, oh, the grandma car, which I could kind of get a little bit, you know. This does kind of seem like a car that my grandma might buy if she's like, yeah, I'm trying to be the cool grandma, I kind of got a fast car, you know, whatever. Maybe even just in like the 2.0 turbo trim. But yeah, I'm super excited for things that we got coming for this car. I hope that you guys are too, and I can't wait to see how this thing looks whenever it's done. It'll be cool to reflect back on this thing in a little while and be like, oh my god, this is what it looked like whenever it was back stock, and then seeing where it goes from there. But that's all that we got for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look at the Infiniti with me and are excited to see what comes in the future. As always, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I hope that you guys are as excited as I am to see where this car goes. It's a little bit underrated, I know, but I think we're gonna get this thing looking amazing. So thank you guys for checking out the video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye now.
Okay, maybe make it a little more elegant. Okay. Okay, try getting in again.